Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Whiskey Wednesday Show with your hosts Ken Tizzard and Music for Goats. Brought to you in full color and stereo sound amplification provided by Trainer. Broadcasting into the world from Storyhouse Studios in Campbellford, Ontario, you'll hear the best in old country, folk, Americana, punk rock, and 80s music delivered into your homes every week for free. And don't forget your regular dose of new and original songs from Music for Goats. Never be alone on a Wednesday night again, 8 p.m. Eastern and 9:30 for those of you in Newfoundland. Join the Whiskey Wednesday regulars on Facebook to be a part of the conversation, or watch on YouTube as well. Pour a drink, a cup of tea, or a nice cold long tooth. Roll up your best smoke and sit back and relax. Don't forget to hit the share button to help spread the word. The Whiskey Wednesday Show, every week. Cheers.
We are on, just like that, eh? Just like that. Hello there, Kimberly. How are you ladies doing next door tonight? I hope everything is fantastic. Tony Arkell, lovely to see you. Got Mr. Grant here tonight. How you doing, Mr. Grant?
Hi.
What's new?
I'm fine. I'm good.
What's new?
Nothing's new, man. It's summer.
It's summer, yeah.
That's great.
How's the air conditioning in your place these days?
That's beautiful.
Is it? Is it warm?
It's warm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Warm is nice. It's not too hot though, right?
But it's cooling off tomorrow, so
Yeah.
we'll be fine.
Oh, I think you might have been misinformed, but yeah.
I might have been.
I think we're heading into a heat wave for the weekend.
Pretty much.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Although today was the hottest of the days. It actually hit 33 here, which is
Yeah.
rather extraordinary. But
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. It's been a hot day,
it has.
and we're upstairs in the Storyhouse studio, which for anybody who's ever recorded here, you know it is the hottest room on the planet in the middle of winter, and in the middle of summer, it retains its absolute fundamental essence of being hot. So we got the fan going, but I'm gonna suggest that Barry maybe when he gets a moment, unplugs her or hits the off button, because as much as it doesn't seem like a lot, that constant hum of the fan does get picked up, and it kind of clouds things. See? Feel that? It's like a little needle being removed from the back of your spine. You didn't even know it was there. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, so much more hearing, for some of us, anyways. We're gonna start tonight with a Ron Hines song. This one goes just like this. How you guys doing?
Good.
Yeah?
Well, Tony, hi, Tony. I see Tony's here. Where's... Oh, there he is. Hi, Richard.
He's got a crimson red tattoo and keeps it hidden just above his t-shirt sleeve. It's a broken heart and the inscription reads, "No love songs if you please." Well, he don't really mean that. Is his only cheeky tongue. He stands up and sings for him every night. He's the man of 1,000 songs. He knows the streets like he knows his last name. He knows the city from the wrong side out. He knows that time is cruel and a man's a fool who hides the truth behind his mouth. He knows the Duke of Earl, he knows my girl in the house of the rising sun. And the opening line on his marquee sign reads, "The man of 1,000 songs." He knows an old hotel where the desk clerk will sell you your soul back reasonably cheap. Or this guy you can call when you're crawling a wall and the whole town's asleep. He don't promise what he don't deliver. He keeps it all in the easy key. He don't dream beyond his expectations, but he's got the stance down to a T. He's got a friend in the backstage alley. He got just the thing to make the night move along. He's taking all requests like you might have guessed. He's the man with 1,000 songs. He knows an old hotel where the desk clerk will sell his soul back reasonably cheap. Or this guy you can call when you're crawling a wall in a hole. Town's asleep. He don't promise what he don't deliver. He keeps it all in the easy keys. He don't dream out his expectations, but he's got the stance down to a T. He's got a friend in the backstage alley, got just the thing to make the night move along. He's taking all requests like you might have guessed. He's the man with 1,000 songs. Oh, he's the man of 1,000 songs. Oh my. Well, I see that we got a good gang out tonight. Roger Price, you were well on your way with a fancy cigarette and a nice IPA. Dave is on board as well. So we've been noticing a little bit. I'm not pushing anybody to use anything. Use your own platform, the one you like. If you're most comfortable in Facebook land, that's cool. If Twitter's your thing, that's cool too. If you're on Twitch, that's all right. But I'm hearing from the people that are watching on YouTube that that the YouTube channel has a different sort of clarity, especially conversationally. Apparently, the YouTube channel, you can see all the Facebook comments and stuff. You can see everything there. So bounce back and forth if you feel like it. I'd be curious to hear your feedback. We're not going to be changing it. It's going to be going to everywhere, so you'll be able to get it wherever you want. So don't freak out. I know some of you find to kind of get into your little routine, and that's what you want. And I don't mean little in a belittling way. I just mean it's sort of a small part of your routine. I think that's fantastic. I've heard great things about the YouTube thing. So that was a little Ron Hines for you to start the night. We've got a great selection of music coming up, and we have a special guest on who's going to blow your mind. I shouldn't hype her up too much, actually. I mean, she's no, you couldn't hype somebody like that's up enough. She's a wonderful lady, and we had a great chat about what's going on down in Montana and stuff like that. And I'm looking forward to having her on and introducing her to you guys. And just before that, we're going to play a few more tunes. I'm going to play this one tonight for anybody who suffers ongoing, constant, monotonous pain, and the things that we do to solve these painful monotonies. And a painful monotony can be simply the job that you've been doing for too long. We start with this one, FMNL, don't we?
Yeah.
We start this one?
I think so.
Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. For all the people out there who suffer any pain. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I like to get high, I like to get higher, I like to get more high than I was before. I like to get stoned, I like to get stoneder, I like to get more stoned than I was before. 'Cause I don't have the perfect job I dreamed of, and at times I can take it for a while. Then sometimes I take small things for granted, and other times all I can do is smile. I like to get high, I like to get high.
stoned. I like to get stoned. I like to get more stoned than I was before. 'Cause I don't have moments of pain-free living. And at times I can bear it for a while. Then sometimes it takes away the part of me that's real. And other times all I can do is smile. I like to get high. I like to get higher. I like to get more high than I was before. I like to get stoned. I like to get stoned. I like to get more stoned than I was before. I like to get high, I like to get higher, I like to get more high than I was before. I like to get stoned, I like to get stoned, I like to get more stoned than I was before. To be honest, it's an uphill battle with depression, and the drugs the doctor gives me ain't so tight. There's sometimes I feel like my skin is crawling, and other times bad TV can be alright. I like to get high, I like to get higher, I like to get more high than I was before. I like to get stoned, I like to get stoned, I like to get more stoned than I was before. I like to get high, I like to get higher, I like to get more high than I was before. I like to get stoned, I like to get stoned, I like to get more stoned than I was before.
That was beautiful.
Oh, that was so much fun. Great time. Richard Gorelchak, how you doing, buddy? Jordan, Deborah, Dave Pinio, Barry, of course, is here. Roger's talking to us. Just checking up here to see who we've missed. Lucky Lizzie, thank you for tuning in. Charmaine as well.
There's some
Maura
lovely
O'Farrell
lady
has
from
come in from Ireland.
Well, now.
Hello there, Maura O'Farrell. Lovely to see you. Maybe we might play some more sort of, I don't know if we have any more Newfoundland songs on here, but maybe we'll get something close to Irish for you at some point tonight. Mike Steenberg is up at the Church Key campfire. Good for you. Oh, Church Key beer at the trailer campfire. That's all good. Beer. Roger Price is starting his evening. Very good. Richard Grelchuk asks how how Edmonton was. Edmonton was great. Let's bring up the first. What are these new things called, Barry? I gave you a layover for them. Do you remember what they're called?
Oh, it's called
Out and About, right?
Out and About, I think. Yeah.
This is a new thing now. This is a new way of me sharing.
Double?
Out and About.
You and the pictures?
Yeah, that's right. That's the way Alison wants it, yeah. We got this, Alison's got this new thing now. We've made a new way for me to share stuff. Because I don't share, enough of my life already as it is. So we did one last week. Remember we had this sort of photo on the side, then I talked about it. So I'm going to get the first photo up here tonight and see what they are. The first photo tonight, oh, this is the tattoo. Oh, yeah, this is a good one. I'm just trying to find it here. You got it yet, Barry?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, cool. I got it as well. So the top picture on the top left is Neil getting his outline stenciled on. Then Neil getting the very first seconds of pain, followed by the full stencil, and below it you can see the goat silhouette on Neil's arm. That's on Neil's left arm. How's that doing tonight there, Neil?
Great.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Is
great.
it?
Yeah,
Good.
yeah,
starting
absolutely.
to get onion skinny?
Yeah, just a little oniony sort of thing, but
Yeah.
things are coming along very nicely.
Yeah, and the bruising disappeared too, yeah.
It did, yes.
Yeah, at a certain age you bruise with tattoos.
Oh.
And well, no, because you take a lot of asprin and fish oil.
I take fish oil on a daily
And
basis, which
aspirin.
is a blood thinner, so yes.
Yeah, so you tend to bruise.
I do.
Yeah,
It's
and-
got nothing to do with age.
I didn't take fish oil when I was
As I will
16.
prove to you after the show.
And to the
So
left.
next week, folks, we'll have a really, really nice vision board, with Kim with
Black
a giant
eyes.
black eye. Yeah.
Next one over is my stencil. Now, John Squires is my tattooist in Edmonton, and he did both the stencil for mine and Neil's, but then he got sick. So we had the guys from Shades of Grey fill in for him, and they did an amazing job. I'm going to post some links to Shades of Grey on the Facebook later.
That's right. Thank you, Mac. Mac Plant did my goat.
That's right.
It's an ibex goat, by the way.
Yes, it was Mac, and I'm having a serious brain. What was the guy who did mine? It wasn't Alex. It was.
It was
Good
Joel.
Lord. Joel.
Joel, yes.
Yeah, why couldn't I remember that? Alex, 4 letters. Joel did mine. Joel works in the same style as John, so he got that sort of American traditional thing going. But yeah, it's the Minor at Heart tattoo, which is the lyrics from a Minor Threat song with the Minor Threat sheep and the Minor from their logo, and then some John stuff around it. Anyways, that was the first day of Edmonton. What a great day. We also ate some food and got on a plane and did other stuff, but that was the crux of it. That night I went to Denny's, and for dinner I had pancakes with chocolate chips, cookie dough chocolate chip pancakes covered in icing sugar cream cheese sauce, with eggs and hash browns and bacon.
Yes, he is 14 years old mentally.
It was great. It was just great. It was
good.
It was amazing. Yeah, it was a really, really nice night. I didn't realize Denny's has kind of turned into the keg of breakfasts. And like they do everything. I think Neil even asked, make sure that can you do the sausages extra crispy? And she said, "Oh, would you like us to butterfly them for you?" And I was just like, "Oh my God, I've never had somebody offer to butterfly a breakfast sausage." Yeah, that's the sort of stuff. Anyways, so we had that the first night at about 9 o'clock, and then I got up at 8 o'clock the next morning, and Denny's was the only restaurant around the hotel. So we went back, and I ordered the exact same thing. It was so damn good. And when we went back for dinner, I had to order the turkey dinner because I couldn't do it again. As much as I was tempted to, I couldn't. So I did the turkey dinner, which was, I prefer the breakfast. The turkey dinner was a little, it was better than I thought it was going to be, actually. But there was something about it that just didn't quite feel right. We're going to play for you a song now. Tonight is the all-request evening. No, it's not. Tonight is the set list inspired by requests from guests. We had Rick Mercer on the show a few months back, and that was a great, fun chat. If you haven't seen it, look it up on YouTube, the Rick Mercer chat on the Whiskey Wednesday show. Really, really fun time catching up with Rick. And Rick had requested a David Whiffen tune called Coast to Coast Fever. And we learned it for him and then played it. And tonight we're going to be doing this over and over again. Well, not the same song, but the next song will be another one. One for Sarah, I believe, because we're going to talk to Sarah in just a minute. But before we get to Sarah Calhoun Part 1, we are going to talk about nothing else and play a song by David Whiffen.
Nice segue. Yes, very well done.
17, he charted to try. Something's been on his mind. Living the life of a man on the go and having a real good time. She came along, there's not much to show. She used to think she was fine. Before she left, the money got spent on good times, whiskey and wine. Now it's bars, stools, and blinkers. Couldn't sleep yet anyway, and it's low inside. The taste of fame has turned the tide. He's got a coast-to-coast fever. The highway on his mind. 7 years passed along the last. He decided to hit the road. His mind on fire and a heart full of ashes. He kept it heavy low. Before we met, money got spent on a good times of whiskey and wine. Now it's a bar, stools and blankets. Couldn't sleep yet anyway, and it's low inside. The taste is turning tide. He's got a coast-to-coast fever. The highway on his mind. Ship came in, he was tired and thin, and he didn't know what lay in store. People came around, the rooms were filled, they were busting through the door. He drew the crowds and they cheered so loud, it made them feel so fine. Before they went, money got spent on it, good times of whiskey and wine. Now it's bars, stools and blinkers. Couldn't sleep yet anyway, yeah, it's low inside. The taste of fame has turned the tide. He's got a coast-to-coast fever. The highway on his mind. Sits alone like no one's home, just staring at the door. The bottle keeps him company, he wonders what it stays here for. So when he drew the crowds and they cheered so loud, made him feel so fine. Before he went, the money got spent on the good times of whiskey and wine. Now it's the bars, stools and blinkers. Couldn't sleep yet anyway, yeah, it's low inside. The taste of fame has turned the tide. He's got a coast-to-coast fever. Highway on his Now it's the bar, stools and blinkers. Couldn't sleep yet anyway, yeah, it's low outside. The taste of fame has turned the tide. He's got a coast-to-coast fever. The highway on his mind. He's got a coast-to-coast fever. The highway on his mind. There you go, little David Whiffen, Coast to Coast Fever. Requested by Rick Mercer a few weeks back. Oh, that's a fun song to play. So doing these weekly requests along with learning the other stuff and learning the new album has got my brain fried the last few months. Trying to retain anything is tough. But I do know what I promised you after this song, and that is part one of Sarah Calhoun. For those of you who haven't heard me talking about her already, I will introduce her and you'll learn all about her, but she is a wonderful lady, she's a good friend, she's an inspiration, and as an entrepreneur, she is incredible. Barry, if you would like to get going on part one, that'd be fantastic.
Sarah Calhoun, welcome to the show. We are on Whiskey Wednesday. You've watched the show a few times. It's a small little internet thing that I do for me and my friends. And I do a segment called What Are You At? And we are so happy to have you on today. So I'm just going to start by asking the question there. What are you at, Sarah?
Well, thanks for having me, Ken. This is a pleasure and an honor, certainly. It's good to see your face again. So I'm here in White Sulphur Springs, Montana, a little rural cow town in the middle of central Montana. And very thrilled because for the first day yet this year, in mid-June, our lilacs finally bloomed. We've had a really slow, cold, luckily wet spring, which is always good for fire season out here. But we're getting in and it's starting to feel like festival season has arrived. So
Festival season, and that's a big thing for you because you are the owner, creator, operator, and woman in charge of the Red Ants Pants Festival, right?
This is correct. Yeah, Red Ants Pants Music Festival.
How many years have you been doing that?
So we are heading into our 11th summer, which is hard to believe that well over a decade has gone by of putting on these events. And it's we're in a town of about 900, and there's 2,000 folks in our county, lots of cows.
Yes.
And we've had up to like 18,000 people at this little grassroots homegrown event that literally takes place on a working ranch in a cow pasture. So it's fun to see that it's come this far.
It's incredible. And you've had, Merle Haggard, Emmylou Harris, who are some of the other sort of names, Dwight Yoakam, Lyle Lovett,
Yep.
Of course, a
Randy
ton
Carlisle.
of the blue, who's that?
Randy Carlisle is played.
Yes.
Yeah.
You've had, and then of course a ton of bluegrass and Americana acts. Some of the lesser known, known in the community, but not known by people outside the community. And you've been building this festival. I found it fascinating when I met you as a festival organizer, and then I immediately got to know you as Sarah, the friend. And what an amazing story! It's like, the nutshell of the story was, as a young girl working on a farm, you couldn't find proper farm clothes. And that led you into this lifelong journey to make work clothes for women, dealing with women's bodies. And this has also led you down this massive empowerment leadership that you have developed. You are coaching and mentoring and doing TED Talks, and President Obama had you come by the White House and talk. Like, wow, fill us in on this. How did this go from saying these pants don't fit to, being invited to speak at the White House?
Yes, absolutely. And I am proud to also mention that I was born up in New Brunswick, so I am a dually, which is kind of fun too.
I didn't know that. That's incredibly cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And then from there went back to our family farm in New England, where I when I was 4 and on. So that's really where I call home right now. But then after school, I ended up spending a lot of time in the backcountry instructing for Outward Bound and leading trail crews, and just getting really frustrated with men's Carhartts because that's all that was on the market at the time. This was back in the early 2000s. And I talked to some other companies and tried to get someone else to start a line of workwear for women, because I knew there were a lot of women in the field who needed this product. No one really jumped at it. And one guy was like, well, if you're serious, why don't you just start your own company? And very naively at the age of 25, I was like, start a business? How hard could that be? And I had no idea what I was getting into. But at that time I was looking to settle down and stop the seasonal gig work, and just wanted to be in Montana. I had never visited the state, but I'd always kind of held it up as such an iconic, beautiful place, certainly with the wide open landscapes and so much wilderness. And came to Bozeman for the first year, bought a copy of Small Business for Dummies because I didn't even know what a business plan was at the time. And that very first weekend I was reading that book at a coffee shop, and a guy noticed, and we get to chatting, and it turns out for the last 20 years he's done production and design for a little company called Patagonia. So a very, very fateful day there. He's still on my advisory board to this day. So he's been a phenomenal mentor over the years. After about a year in Bozeman, I wanted to be in a small ag town. It was a little too big of a city for me. So I just read a great book. I don't know if you've read any Ivan Doig. He's one of the best writers of the American West. I highly recommend him. It's Doig, Ivan Doig. And his memoir is called This House of Sky. And he grew up here in White Sulphur Springs. So I had read that book and I was like, oh, that sounds like a neat little ranching community, and found this old historic saddle shop for sale and dove in, and then opened the doors to the Pants Company in 2006. So from there, started a music festival about 5 years in, which was quite a big undertaking, as you can imagine.
I'm familiar with that part of it.
Yes.
And I was reading online, you're using proceeds from the music festival to support endeavors that you're involved with that really a lot of empowerment. And I was just reading about some of the money going to teaching young women about using power tools and stuff like that. These sort of sort of typical men's roles in life. Like I know my daughters, for example, I mean, they've grown up now and they have boyfriends, and Cassie's an engineer, so she's a little different, but Caitlin is still like, oh yeah, he's got his man role and I got my female role. It's not as cut and dry as when I was a child. It has made significant changes, but you're just every step of the way. How much of this comes from you and your vision, or how much does it comes from like a board of directors that you're working towards, sort of putting these initiatives in place and finding ways to strategize to make them positively work? Like how does that work from down there?
Yeah, great question. So with the start of the festival, wanted to give proceeds towards some worthwhile cause. And when I started looking around, there really wasn't the perfect fit for a nonprofit that I wanted to target our funds towards. So we started the Red Ants Pants Foundation, which is our 501c3 nonprofit branch for all that now owns and manages the festival as our main fundraiser and obviously our biggest program. But in addition to that, we have these programs that you mentioned, the timber skills training. So those are 4-day carpentry and chainsaw courses for women. We're adding in trailer backing and dovetail joinery, like by hand, using hand tools for our carpentry classes. Those are really fun. And that self-reliance piece, like you're saying, is not always traditionally the women's role, but I think not that we have to be self-reliant, but that if we choose to be, we can be. And I think that's a really important value. And in addition, we have a girls leadership program for junior year high school girls from across rural Montana. And we pair them up with young mentors, and they do their own community project in their hometown. And that's been amazing to see, just learning these leadership skills from the age of 16 to really be able to learn them and practice them. Just sets these gals up for success for sure. And then really building an intentional good old girls club for them, like a lifelong network within the alum. So that, in addition to our grant cycle, which we, as of today, actually, we just selected our final grantees for this year with again, proceeds from the festival. So this is we've given over $130,000 to different programs and individuals across the state whose projects support our mission of women's leadership, working family farms and ranches, and enriching rural communities. So all the things we love. So to really answer your question, these are all the things that I get excited about. And I have that curse of an entrepreneur where I just want to keep creating and building and innovating. And so these are the things that I wanted to start this foundation around, and then built a great board. And we're continuing to expand and enrich our board. So they're all on point with this mission and bringing in so much good expertise and perspective. And whether it's an accounting focus or legal or fundraising or storytelling or whatnot, they're really rounding out the board to be a really, we're definitely the sum is greater than its parts with our board of directors currently.
Amazing. To be able to go through life and find the things that you're interested in, and less than 2 decades ago, you bought a business for dummies book, and
Yep.
now you're running this massive. It is a pretty large organization that you've got, right? Like not necessarily in numbers of people who work directly for you, but for the amount of outreach that you do and the impact you have. It's way more impactful than most business models that I know.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I think that kind of social entrepreneurship part of it is just something that speaks to me. And I without even knowing that that's a catchphrase in the business schools and MBA students now, that's just kind of what I was doing, because it makes sense to me. And it makes sense for our communities and our employees and our festival fans and the people we worked with. So it's just a good way to do business, I think.
That's amazing.
Like we're back. I'm almost back with you. Just gonna go over here. Oh, fabulous. Thank you, Steve. Yes, I'm just looking. Hey, Sherry, you're back again. Kenny Erlin. Yes, everybody is just talking about the guest. Yeah, man, what a treat it is to know this lady. It was funny. I'll tell you how me and Sarah met. I was at a bar in Nashville for Americana Fest. Me and Steve Johnson were watching a bunch of crazy acts. I'm trying to remember the name of the bar. I'm not gonna remember it anyways. And at about 10 o'clock, suddenly there was this girl in our group, lady, Sarah. And sort of Steve said, "Hey, Ken, this is my friend Sarah." And I went, oh, cool. And I gave her a hug, and I thought this is like one of Steve's oldest friends. They were getting on like they'd known each other forever. And within about 10 minutes, I was getting on with her. I was like, man, this is like, I feel like I've known this person all my life. And all night we hung out, and it ended off, we were like, it was 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning at the, whatever that breakfast spot is in Nashville that you can still go to.
Denny's.
No. Anyways, we ended off there, and that's when I said, to Sarah, how long have you known Steve? And she's like, I just met him tonight. I'm like, you don't know either of us? And we're like route traipsing through Nashville, just having the time of our lives, and we all thought we were all sort of old friends. And then the next day, we got together again, we hooked up and had some lunch or something, and she's just kind of been, whenever I go down that way, we had some great times hanging out, anyways, we've stayed in touch as friends, and the more that I get to know her story, the more she fascinates me. We're going to put some more of that in a little bit. I played Merlefest. Sarah was part of that whole thing. As she came down to Merlefest to sort of help out Steve, and as Steve has gone out to Red Ants Pants to help out her as well. But at the time she was down sort of helping Steve with the festival. It happened to be the year that I was playing at it, and she saw me at one of the shows, and then she mentioned at another one of the, there was, you do 3 or 4 sort of stages, but she was the first one down there to kind of notice and recognize a song, and asked me to play this song the next time I saw her. I thought that was really cool because nobody really sort of paid any attention before in a song. Yeah, that's the one. So we're gonna play that right now. I think Mr. Grant just asked me which song we were doing because he realized that I didn't have my capo on.
That's quite true.
And he knows that we just kind of recently put this into play. So I'm going to play this for Sarah tonight. And I'm also going to send out a hello if he's watching, and he might be watching when he's not working, to Steve Johnson. Me and Sarah had a great little catch-up and a little conversation. Talking about how much we love you and how much we hope you're well, and I haven't heard from you in a bit, and I'd love to hear from you, and I know you're probably watching because that's the way you are. So this is dedicated to Sarah with a co-dedication to Steve Johnson and Bree. Can't leave Bree out, can we? Sarah's laughing if she's watching right now. Okay. Saw you on the street, would you say hello? Just pass on by, pretend like you don't know. Would you take the time to stop and flash that smile? Keep your head tucked down, simply walk on by. If I told you that I loved you, would that be wrong? Doesn't make it any easier if I sing it in a song. Could you hold it in your heart? Could you sing along? If I told you that I loved you in a song. If I reached out in the dark to hold your hand, would you pull away? Would you take me as your man? If I showed you how I felt, it would be unkind. Would you hold me so close and tell me the secrets on your mind? Or would you run so far you'd be impossible to find? If I told you what was really on my mind. Danced a little closely in the park.
Could I get so close to feel the beating of your heart? If I kissed you, would I find a sweet return? Or the sudden clarity for a love that can never burn? If I kissed you, would I find a sweet return? If I told you that I loved you, would that be wrong? Does it make it any easier if I sing it in a song? Could you find it in your heart? Could you sing along? If I told you that I loved you in a song.
These are the things we deal with when you write an overly complex song that doesn't have to be overly complex, and you only play it once every 5 years because somebody liked that one. You know, everybody has those songs on those. Well, in my experience, a lot of albums have that song that just never really makes it to repeated performance, but it's a beautiful song. That was for all those people that I mentioned before. We're gonna play another song right now. I'm gonna get the set list out here and see. Oh yeah, we're gonna do this one, eh? Okay. There was a key on this one, right?
Yeah.
We're doing it in B? Cool.
Don't quote me on that. Hey, I don't know.
I know, I don't want to get in
Might
trouble.
be.
I gotta look at my notes to make sure I'm not missing anything else, and the production assistant is downstairs. No, I got one more song before I say another thing. It's so wonderful. Actually, it's great. Allison's been having a lot of fun doing the newsletter and helping to get the show together, just keeping me in place. I'm such a friggin' stoner. Ron, I'm sorry that it took so long to get that T-shirt that you ordered. Ron ordered a T-shirt like 3 weeks ago, and I just got it in the mail to him yesterday. I'm like, oh my God. Anyways, we're setting up a production office downstairs in the front. Allison has her new Power Wheels today, so she's got this crazy wheelchair that spins on the spot. That's not what it does, but it can spin without taking up a lot of space. So she's slowly getting access to more of the house. So the front room is going to be the production office where we'll go and make our notes, and I can go do all the editing and stuff, and I can also fulfill merch orders. Oh, speaking of which, yeah, we do have the new Whiskey Wednesday shirts in Army Green for the summer. Everybody loves Army Green for the summer, the Whiskey Wednesday shirt. And we also have the new fully printed, wonderful texture of shirt. This is the Tizzard Music for Goats shirt, the original with the red and the gold. So those are on the website if you want to check them out. We're going to play another song for you. I'm going to do it like this. I'm just gonna
Was a cold and cruel evening, sneaking up on Speedy Creek. I found myself out sleeping in the snow. For one or two odd reasons I ain't too proud to repeat, but now we'll say I had no place to go. Was a rustle and a humming, just a hauling down the street. I drew myself up from my icy bed. Painted on that shiny car, the letters RCMP. I could feel a little ache in my hand. And out jumps this old boy, about twice the size of me. He asked me for my name and where I dwelt. I just looked him in the eye and sang Blue Old Number 9. He didn't catch the reference, I can tell. He just laughed and touched his gun and turned to me. He said, son, I bet you don't know only God knows your name. He just laughed and touched his gun and turned to me and he said, son, I bet you don't got a damn thing to your name. Well, I got my health, my John B. Stetson, got a bottle full of Bailey's Bluebird wine. I left my stash somewhere down in Preston, along with 13 silver dollars and my mind. got my health, my time-based Stetson. Got a bottle full of baby's bluebird wine. Left my stash somewhere down in Preston, along with 13 silver dollars on my mind.
Oh my goodness. A lot of fun. That's a song by another Canadian out of Saskatchewan, Coulter Wall, and that was a request from Andrew Younghusband when he was on the show there a little bit back. Again, Andrew, good friend from Newfoundland again, all these Newfoundland connections. Let's not forget our Montana connections. We got more Sarah coming up. We got one more song. But before that, I see here that my next out and about from when I was out and about is coming up. This is the wall art there. Barry, you got that one by chance? Tell me when you're good on that.
Yep, it's up.
It's up, eh? Look at that. This is Chai Pig. Chai Pig was a singer for SNFU. He was from Edmonton. Ken Chin is his real name. And you can kind of see the scope of it there when you see me stand in front of the center part of the mural, which is just his chin and his face. And you can see how big I am next to it. But then if you look at some of the other photos, you can see that it takes the length of that entire building. It is an absolutely wonderful tribute to a punk rock legend who died a couple of years back, Mr. Chai Pig, Ken Chin, a.k.a., from the band SNFU. SNFU were one of my early hardcore favorites. I discovered them when they had an album out called No One Else Wanted to Play. And we got to see them in Newfoundland. DUPP, Dead Upturned Puppy Productions, brought them down, which was basically a collection of punk rockers who did shows all year and saved their money and then brought a band in. And we brought Minor Threat down. Not Minor Threat. We brought SNFU down, sorry, tattoo on their brain. We brought SNFU down. Well, they did the whack of us. We lost our venue the day of the show. We found an old abandoned apartment that somebody had a key to for some reason. Their parent had the lease or something, and I can't remember exactly how we did it, but we fit like, I don't know how many, 100, 200 kids into this second floor apartment, brought in a PA, and SNFU came and played for us all in this fucking small box of a room that was like the living room, bedroom, kitchen. Like, it was a whole apartment. They just sort of sat up at the end by the windows. The most amazing thing that I've ever seen. Myself and Mike Bueller and Clark Hancock and Danny Thomas and all of us were in front, and we all sort of locked into each other because we didn't have a barricade.
Right.
So we kind of did this, and all of our punk rock friends were using our backs to sort of jump off of back into the crowd like a big mosh pit. Quite a night.
Good times.
Quite a night. Anyways, that's the Chai Pig. That's the Chai Pig artwork and a little story on Chai from me. You know, 'cause everybody wants a little story about Chai. This is a song I wrote for my wife. Sun goes down over Wichita Falls. I've seen the best and I've seen them all. Our days ain't nothing more beautiful to see. You wring your hair and you drape your clothes. Sunlight, your silhouette shape exposed. It's clear you're bringing out the best in me. Why you wanna waste your time with me? Why you wanna waste your time with me? Morning breaks, I haven't slept all night. The sunlight warms to your skin's delight. I'm dying just to sit here and watch you breathe. Pressed to your chest lies a mother's joy. Dreams, little dreams of a little boy. This feels like a lot I can't believe. Why you wanna waste your time with me? Why you wanna waste your time with me?
been 10 years or maybe 12, and we've had some times it felt like hell, but you held your ground and you stayed strong and true for me. And the good times far outweigh the bad and the happiness outweighs the sad. There's just one question here, and my friends agree. Why you wanna waste your time with me? Why you wanna waste your time with me? Now the years have passed, they've grown and gone, and all I can do is sing this song in a voice that cracks, melody carefree. On the porch we sit as the sun fades away, we wave to the neighbors across the way. I still can't believe you did all this with me. She says, do you want to waste some time with me? Do you want to waste some time with me? Do you want to waste some time with me? Do you want to waste some time with me?
There you go, song from my wife. As I'm talking all night about this Sarah Calhoun, as if, as if I'm enthralled with her, which I am, but in a different way. Song for my wife there, Sarah Allison, Anyway, Sarah Calhoun. We got a part 2 here with Sarah. I'm going to get it on my screen here. And right after this, we'll be back with some more of that stuff. Here we go. Hit it up.
And you recently you bought a mansion. Did I hear that right?
I did.
Mansion.
Which I feel a little ridiculous saying, but yes, for years. So again, this town, just to kind of paint the picture. So White Sulphur Springs, it's in central Montana. When I moved here in 2005, it was the lowest income of any county in the entire nation. Okay. Which is shocking in itself, but classically, it's been a lot of boom and bust, extraction, mining, timber. There's a lot of ranching. It is the county seat. So we have the courthouse and the hospital and the schools for jobs. And we have a great ski hill, and the Smith River comes through the valley, and lots of Forest Service and public land and amazing hunting and fishing and all that. So it's got a lot of potential for tourism and whatnot. And it's only been on the up and up that I've seen here. And we have new streets and sidewalks, then a new brewery and a gym and a bakery and lots of businesses and restaurants and new school, new library. And we are definitely not the lowest income of any county in the nation anymore, which is awesome to see. And certainly the festival has been a part of that, and a part of bringing a little more pride into our community, which is a tough thing to build in some of these small towns, as I think you're aware. Yeah. So it's been really neat to see. And be part of it on the ground.
That's amazing. I sat down this morning. I mean, I kind of know everything that you do just from knowing you, but I sat down this morning and actually kind of read through the website for the first time in a couple of years. The amount of stuff. I mean, how have you adapted to your public life? Like the Sarah that I know, sort of as a friend, seems extremely different than the Sarah that I would imagine doing a TED Talk. How do you balance that? Like, how do you,
that's
or
a
how
good
do you,
question.
sorry, maybe not balance it, but how do you interpret that as a person? Like the difference of sort of you as and then like when you go on stage, there's always something that happens. There's a certain amount of character comes into what we're doing. How are you dealing with that? It's such a huge thing. I mean, the amount of talking and like doing TED Talks and stuff, and the you've been on CNBC, CNN, all these other great things. How does that work for somebody like yourself?
I appreciate that question, Ken, because and I don't know that there's much of a distinction between personal and private Sarah versus public Sarah, because I'm not a good actress or performer by any means. I'm just me, and I think that comes through. And I think in some ways that's what does resonate with some folks. But it can get exhausting, as you know, when you're in the public eye. but it's interesting, and back to your question about the Ringling Mansion too. And now I have this. So I bought this historic, beautiful Victorian in town that, and I was trying to describe the landscape of the community, that this isn't like a big, showy, flashy mansion by any means, but it's got beautiful bones and the original stained glass and light fixtures and wood floors. And there's a liquor vault in the basement that the Ringling, like the circus family, had speakeasy parties during the Prohibition. Like, you can't make this shit up at all. It's phenomenally authentic. But I wanted to buy this house so I could, number one, live in it, but number two, house community gatherings and writing workshops and music events around the baby grand, and really bring people together in this space, which is funny because I'm only inviting the public in more, even into my personal home. So I think it's something that it's so personal to me, all of this work that I do. It's not like I can ever leave the office and actually go home. It's, when you start something and it's your business and your baby and your vision, it's internalized so dramatically. And I don't know that I have enough distinction between the personal and private and the public persona. And it is the same person. But the other good thing is that when you live in a small town, like, everyone's famous in a small town, so you just get used to everyone knows everyone here. So it does get a little different when you leave your hometown and then get recognized out and about, and it feels very odd. But yeah, in general, I think it's a pretty authentic balance.
That's fantastic. Well, that's kind of what I thought you were going to say, because I have seen you speak at events and stuff before, and it's always just Sarah up there. But I just thought I'd ask because of some of these bigger things that I haven't seen you at. I think it would be fascinating to do those things.
Yeah.
The Ringling. So this is like the Ringling Circus family mansion you bought?
Yes. So they have plenty of them. I think they have a lot in Wisconsin and then down in Sarasota, Florida. But they purchased this from Dr. Parberry, one of the founders of town here, who was from Bourbon County, Kentucky, which I happen to love. He built this in 1892, and then John Ringling, one of the Circus brothers, purchased it as their summer home in 1909, I believe. And they were really trying to invest in the tourism to come up from Yellowstone National Park. And they actually paid for a spur line railroad from the town of Ringling, named after them as well, which is about 25 miles south of us, all the way up to our depot here in White Sulphur. And we have a hot springs in town, which is a huge draw for tourism. So they were really trying to push that line back in the early 1900s, and we're still working on it today and getting a little traction now, which is good to see.
That's pretty interesting. Was there any circus finds in the house?
There are some hoops, some metal hoops that were used for juggling that they did, cool. Dave, which was kind of cool. Yeah.
Well, something, it's been fantastic chatting. I appreciate you taking the time to come on the show. I know how busy you are with everything you do. And I know we had a great chance to catch up before I pressed record, and that was so much fun. Who you excited to see this summer? Who you got coming down to the festival? I know everybody on your roster is, of course, a gem in your eyes, because that's the way you work. But who you really excited to see?
Oh man, so Grace Potter's our headliner this year, which is super fun. And we have greats like, JJ Gray and Mofro is gonna be our Friday night headliner. Core Blonde, another Canadian, on Sunday. Yep. He's a dear friend. But Allison Russell is playing on Friday night, who I am over the moon to see live and have here in our cow pasture. She's making great strides forward in the Americana world. Martin Sexton's coming. I don't know if you know him, like old school songwriter, wonderful musician out of New York State.
Don't know.
And Sunvol is coming.
Sunvol, I saw that. Yeah. I'm almost wanting to get on a plane to come down and see Sunvol.
You should. I know, like just cult favorite. So it's a fun mix of, Americana, old country, new country, and just a lot of good music and some blues and bluegrass mixed in too. So,
that's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, and it's July 28th through 31st. I should mention that. RedHandsCansMusicFestival.com. Come visit.
Excellent. I will be putting when I edit this, I'll put all kinds of pictures and logos and stuff in, and make sure to direct everybody to the right place. Well, you are one of the most fantastic and on the ball people that I know when it comes to business, and everything that you've done for empowering young females and leading the way and proving that it can be done. I've got so much respect for everything you do. I know that it's every day is got to be some kind of a battle. But from knowing you, I know how rewarded you get by it. So it's just fantastic. And I feel blessed to know you and have you somewhat in my life, even though might as well be a million miles away. It's nice to know that in the back of my mind, I can close my eyes at any point in time and see you smile and hear you laugh and remember how much fun we have when we are together. And I look forward to that time coming again. I don't think it will be Americana Fest this year. I think my plate is still too full. I'm hoping 2023 will be the year that I can start getting out and doing things again. And until then, I'm just on hold and doing what I do here. And thank you for coming in and being a part of what I do here. It means a lot to me to chat with you today.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for having me, Ken. Great seeing you.
Okay. Take care.
Bye.
Barry tells me I'm back. Get to mute the computer here because of the lag, of course. Welcome to Internet World. Did I just see that Pam said she's there? Hey, it's Pam from BBRF. BBRF, Neil, think about it for a second. What could that be? BBRF. Come on.
I don't know.
Where have you been recently? What did you do in Edmonton?
Oh, yes, of course. I know Pam. Hi, Pam. Yes. Pam and Daryl. Duh.
Pam and Daryl.
Geez. Okay, good enough. Yes,
Hey,
indeed.
nice. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that little clip there with my good friend Sarah. Anyways, Red Ants pants. And you know what we didn't talk about? I mean, even though I showed a bunch of pictures, we didn't talk about the actual clothing. I wanted to ask her about that, and maybe next time I talk to her, I'll get into that.
Yeah.
But you can go to the website. I am going to go down tomorrow and order myself one of those belt buckles because those things are pretty awesome. And I am currently beltless. I wear suspenders when I feel like I want to wear suspenders, but I don't have a belt currently. My last really good one broke, so I think I'm going to get a new belt and get that Red Ants pants belt buckle. It's a lovely piece of work.
I wonder if it will fit on my stretchy belts.
Oh, I'm sure it will. Sure it will. You can modify it. Maybe they make a stretchy belt.
Maybe they do. Hey, that'd be
I'll have to ask her about that.
yeah.
Okay, we're going to keep moving ahead, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to dedicate this song to the person who requested it. This is the Ray Price tune. Ray Price tune called Heartaches by the Number, requested a while back by Mr. Mo Berg from The Pursuit of Happiness. I do believe it goes like this. One, two, one, two. Heartache number one was when you left me. I never knew that I could hurt this way. Heartache number two is when you came back again. You came back, but you never meant to stay. Now I've got heartaches by the number, troubles by the score. Every day you love me less, each day I love you more. Yes, I've got heartaches by the number, a love that I can't win. But the day that I stop counting, that's the day my world will end. Heartache number three was when you called me.
stay. With hopeful heart, I waited for your knock on the door. I waited, but you must have lost your way. Yeah, I've got heartaches by the number, troubles by the score. Every day you love me less, each day I love you more. Now I've got heartaches by the number, the love that I can't win. But the day that I stop counting, that's the day my love will end. But the day that I stop counting, that's the day my love will end. Here you go. I don't know if you noticed in one of those pictures of Sarah, there was a picture of her with Charlie Pride when he performed at the festival. Oh man, what a load of fun. I think Allison, my wife, as I was telling you earlier, has this new segment she's created for the show called Out and About, which again is what happens when I leave the house, which is not too often, as most of you know. But I don't need to harp on that. But let me see what's number 3 on the event page here. This was the flowery stuff, right? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Bring this up. As Sammy says when Neil's not around, where's your husband? And I say, he's just gone to use the bathroom. And me and my husband went out in Edmonton and we visited the Muttart,
Muttart, I think, yes.
Conservatory. And it was quite a thing. They've got these 4 biodomes that are shaped like pyramids. And glass enclosures, of course. And each of the biodomes are different one. There's a wet one, which I believe they call wetiosis. And then there's a really dry one, which is dryosis.
Of course.
And then there's one from here,
which is the
called
temperosis.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
They've got all kinds of weird names. Neil knows them all. He loves these things. Oh, that's a blah, blah, blah. And he can find the sign, and he can actually find out where you can start adding the word, where it's from to the title and stuff. It's great. It's fantastic to watch. And I have a new interest in plants too. I have a house full of them downstairs the last few years, and I take care of them. Me and Allison and Cassidy mostly monitor them. Anyways, we had a great time there. There's a picture of Neil taking a picture of me taking a picture of something I don't even know. It might have been me taking that selfie below.
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, Neil
exactly.
taking a picture of me taking a selfie. Anyways, we had a great time at the Muttart Conservatory. If you have any interest in flowers or even just clearing your brain for 20 minutes, it's a beautiful place to just go and get some interesting fresh air and breathe some plant life, and kind of fixes things a little bit. Just fixes things a little bit. Mr. Grant, you've been playing bass all night, haven't you?
Me? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a heavy tone you've got going.
This is a beautiful bass that you brought around, Ken. I don't know where you dug this up.
This is the new replacement for my old 78. Doesn't have a name yet. I used it for the first time in Edmonton. That was our first time ever played.
It is a Fender
on stage.
Precision, or as we call it, a P bass.
It is. It's a P bass with a modified installed J pickup. So it's a PJ. And it has active EMGs in it, which I put in. 78 neck, bird's eye, unlike my regular maple one, but it almost feels exactly like my 78. Body shape is really close. There's one thing, it's off by like a millimeter or a quarter ounce somewhere. I can't quite figure out what it is. But it's really close. I love it. I'm glad to see you playing it this week.
I don't notice that, but then I'm sitting down.
Exactly. No, I love it. And thanks to Dan out in Winnipeg for helping me score this for me and set it up and get everything in it. It's great.
Sounds great, and it plays beautifully.
Yeah, she's a nice rig. But you're playing this through this big old Trainer 410 amp pack here.
Yeah, we got lots of sound, man.
Lots of sound, but we're getting the sound. Ladies and gentlemen, we are getting the sound from this friggin' little thing here. And when I say friggin' little thing here, it's not a bad thing. This is great. This, which I'm lifting with one finger, is the 200-watt Trainer small block 200H. It's got a DI in it. You know something, Barry, do we got any video on this one? Let's just drop this video there. You guys can see what it is. It's a pretty cool piece of kit. Check it out. Well, ladies and gentlemen,
Today I'm looking at the Trainer Small Block 200H. This is a complete 200 watt bass amp, and look at it, isn't it massive? Fits great on top of your amp. It looks so incredible. It's a nice rig. I'm just kidding, actually. There's my hand. The whole thing is only 7.5 inches wide, and it's around 2 pounds. It's this lightweight little thing. Passive and active input, mute, gain, three band EQ with a low expander. It's got these nice metal chassis with the little sort of overlays out front, so you're not going to beat the knobs off it. On the back, it's got everything you need. It's got your power, and of course your power input. It's got a tuner output and an aux in, so you can plug like a little, you can plug your MP3 player into it, take your headphones out, and then you can jam along with tracks too, which is great. It's got a post and pre EQ line out ground lift on it, and it's got a speaker out with a minimum of 4 ohms. 200 watts right here in this little tiny rig that you can literally throw into a carrying case and take to any gig. Mr. Grant is using it tonight. It sounds amazing. Plug it into any cabinet, a 10-inch, an 810, a 410, whatever you've got that works within the ohmage. What did it say again? Minimum 4 ohms, so you can get that into most cabinets. Man, this new lightweight stuff is incredible. Check out Mr. Grant's tone tonight as he plays the Trainer Small Block 200H. Cheers, folks.
I find this amazing, you know. You put one of those with one of those the GK Plex that I had. You can carry it onto a plane, and you can plug it into a PA that would fill the Air Canada Centre, and it would sound like bass rigs and guitars for most people. For all people, I don't know. It just sounds. I mean, people say it doesn't sound real. It doesn't. Some people say that argument. It's the digital argument, right? It sounds like a guitar sometimes. Sometimes it sounds like a bass. Sometimes you work for a long time to get this sound. You know, it's a different sound. Explore it. Check it out. It's going to save your back, for God's sake. And they're cheap. These things are not expensive, man. You can bring them to a gig if you've got some in-ears, or save your ears, you know. I won't say who. Somebody's getting married this weekend. I know, Roger. When we play as a trio, we fly with my pedal board. It's got a bass DI, a guitar DI, and another little guitar DI for the other one. And then a headphone splitter for and the tuners.
Yeah.
Everything is there on one pedal board. All you need to give us is the outs. This weekend we are playing Wedding. Not something that happens all the time, but they're fun when they do, especially when you know the people who are getting married. So we're doing that this weekend, and we're looking forward to it. And I say that as an intro to the song, only for those who would know what that means. Oh.
You belong among the wildflowers. You belong on a boat out on the sea. Sail away, kill off the hours. You belong somewhere you feel free. Run away and find you a lover. Run away somewhere all bright and new. You deserve no other who compares to you.
That's for people who like to get married. People who like to get married. And for people who don't like to get married, you know, there's that too. I'm not sure what that is, but I'm just killing time while I'm looking for my notes again. I'm gonna get a monitor, guys, so we can have the notes up on the wall or something, so I can see. This is so annoying to me, but this is necessary because I have, you know, there's a format. There's things that have to be done. It's like the news, right? This is essentially the news for anybody who's curious about what's happening right here, right now, this instant in time. This is the best source for that news. Do you agree, Mr.
I think you need a video manager here.
And
Video man.
What do you call a director?
A director.
Wouldn't that take all the weight off?
A director. Well, that's kind of what Alice is doing, but she's not here in the room. But she does text every now and again when I've forgotten to mention something. Right now, she's saying he hasn't mentioned the fourth. They're not called vision boards anymore. They're now called. I'm thinking of it. Hold on. Out and abouts. Out and abouts is new to me. She just came up with it last night. We got one more out and about before we play the last song. And also, did we play the AMP video, Barry? Okay, you got to watch this for a sec here, folks. Sorry, this is next week. It's a little trailer, but I want you to check it out right now because my daughter's in it. So Barry's going to play this here for a minute. But you can have music in your life without it being your job, and that's something that I try and tell people because having music as a job is really, really hard. Only a few people get to do it, but that doesn't mean you can't have music in your life.
I never really wrote in a diary or any of that kind of stuff. I just never felt like I would be like, oh, dear diary, this is what happened in my life. But then I just found that music a lot of the time allowed me to write a song, and it doesn't have to be exactly about what I'm going through, but I could kind of make up a story or have my own life experiences translated into music that then other people could also listen to and then could maybe also relate to. And then I want her long, long hair. I want her magic touch. Yeah, 'cause maybe then you want me just as much. I've got a girl crush. Drawing ever since I was young, but it was kind of just the one workshop that I went to, the drawing workshop, where I drew something and I actually looked back at it and was wow, this actually is okay. It actually looks good. Everything before then, I was just kind of drawing for the fun of it.
Right.
I was just kind of realizing, taking a step back and realizing this might be something I actually am good at.
Folks.
I'm just kind of feeling more confident in it, then you're more willing to share it.
Show people, and then when you share, I am here all alone. Your daddy's a sailor who never comes home, and these nights get so long, and the silence goes on, and I'm feeling so tired. I'm not all that strong. Well, Sonny carries a load, though he's barely. We are now. Cool. The song, the E changes from minor to major in the song. Is that true?
no,
No? Okay. No. Well, then I'll keep it as a
minor.
minor
That works.
the whole way through.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, so next week we're going to tune the show around the special guest being the Awesome Music Project, or the Awesome Music Hour, and the special guest will be made up from bits of the interview with Caitlin and Cassidy and myself. It was a really nice thing to do. I think they're doing a fantastic thing. Whatever it is, they're not whatever it is they're working with, what they are working towards. And I want to let you all know about it. So next week we'll be talking about that. And I guess, is it the end of the month coming soon?
Yeah.
A week. Oh
The
yeah,
end of
that's
next week.
There's a possibility I may not be here next week.
Oh, this is interesting. Okay. What would be going on?
I am going to go and, along a similar vein to our friend Stephen, I'm going to go and have a colonoscopy done.
That sounds like so much fun.
It is. It's just absolutely great.
You doing on Wednesday?
I'm going to be preparing for it on
Oh yeah,
Wednesday.
we don't want you.
Oh, come on. It'd be so much fun.
I could do a solo
First thing
show.
on,
What
first
is this?
thing on,
So this is next
yeah, it's
Wednesday?
first thing on Thursday morning, 7 o'clock kind of thing.
So no, you can't be here.
And just
Is
to
it next
encourage
Wednesday?
people to go and have these things done, because I have had them in the past. The last one I had, they actually found a whole pile of polyps, which had I not had that done and had them removed, would have probably become little nasty tumors. So
Pile of polyps. Eh?
that's right, pretty pile of polyps, yes indeed.
Yeah. A few more P words.
That's kind of the click-clack of horses' hooves kind of thing.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first.
That's right, that's right. So,
From Dr. Lucy.
yep. So,
For the internet purposes, he is not a doctor. Anything he says is not medical advice. Do not sue us.
however, you know, if you are an attractive woman and you're looking for a date, then I am a doctor. No.
Oh my. Well then, you know, you should get your online dating profile adjusted to mention something about your,
Something of
your
the sort.
plethora
Yeah,
of polyps or whatever the
that's
word
right,
was.
That's right. Jeez, did I actually say that?
My.
Oh boy.
We're going to end
Okay.
the song tonight with something that's even as funny as this conversation. And Roger, you'll know what this is all about. Yeah, I'm going to play a Beatles tune. We're all going to play a Beatles tune. It's Sorry, I'm just reading some of the comments.
Oh, I
that
can
are popping
imagine.
up.
I can imagine.
Okay. Well, let's see. I want to close your eyes and I'll kiss you. Tomorrow I'll miss you. Remember, I'll always be true. And then while I'm away, I'll write home every day, and I'll send all my loving to you. I'll pretend that I'm kissing the lips that I'm missing, and hope all my dreams will come true. And then while I'm away, I'll write home every day, and I'll send all my loving to you. All my loving I will send to you. Oh, my loving darling, I'll be true. Close your eyes and I'll kiss you. Tomorrow I'll miss you. Remember, I'll always be true. And then while I'm away, I'll write home every day, and I'll send all my loving. Oh, my loving, I will send to you. Oh, my loving, darling, I'll be true. Oh, my loving, oh, my loving, oh, my loving, I will send to you. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ken Tizzard. We are Music for Goats. We have Mr. Ken Grant on bass guitar. We have Mr. Neil Lucy on acoustic guitar. We have Mr. Barry back there working the mixer and the switching. Thank you very much, Barry. We have my wife Allison helping out with the newsletters and everything else. And our drummer Steve is still in the midst of all of his treatments for his cancer, which he was diagnosed with at Christmas time past. He does have a little piece of time coming up where he will be doing some things with us, so we're hoping to see him here And I'm hoping that you'll all get to see him. And for those who do get to see him over the next little while, that'd be great. In the meantime, be well, be nice. It's really hot in Ontario. Don't let that get under your skin. Well, you know, it's going to get under your skin. Just don't. Well, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I encourage you to be nice to other people. Grady, take care. To everybody watching on all the different platforms, please continue to share it with friends and do all that stuff. And we will see you next week. Cheers. Next week, AMP, awesome music project. Check it out in the meantime. Thank you. Barry, we are good.
Good night.
Once again, thanks for spending another Wednesday with us here at Storyhouse Studios. Thanks to Trainer, Yorkville, and the Longtooth Beverage Company for being a part of the show. We love our time on the Whiskey Wednesday show and appreciate all of your support. Don't forget to hit up the tip jar if you feel so inclined. Never expected, but always appreciated. Tune in every week for more guests, songs, stories, drinks, and gear talk. And don't forget to visit the website, www.kentizzard.com, to sign up for the Whiskey Wednesday wrap-up. Compiled by Allison, this is a monthly overview with highlights, directories of songs, and so much more. Be kind, be helpful, be happy, be safe. See you next week.